What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Iron Obsession podcast. I'm your host, Anson, and I have a very special guest with us today, NPC super heavyweight competitor and contest prep coach, Chris Fine. How you doing, man?
Yo, what's up, man? I'm glad to be here.
I'm super excited to have you on, man. I've had the pleasure to meet Chris in person twice now at the two shows that I've done so far, and I can tell you, the highlight of each of those shows for me has been the small interactions that I've had with Chris. He's a super humble dude, always taking the time to help with anything. Like, this is a genuine dude right here. Real bodybuilding.
Well, I appreciate that. What shows was those?
So because you probably go to a million of them, right? The first one was the NPC Carolina State back in, I think, 22.
That was way back. Yeah.
Yeah, and then most recently at the Palmetto Classic in 24.
Okay, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I didn't know if you were at the 2021 Upstate Classic in Spartanburg.
No, I've never been to that one.
Okay, yeah. Well, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, but so getting into the jump here, I just want you to give a little brief background on who you are, where you come from, just general life stuff, and then we can go into a bit of your competitive history.
Dude, let's go way back now. I'll start at college, graduated with exercise science, strength and conditioning. I went to intern with Dave Palumbo for about 2 years in Long Island, right out of college. Was going to go to the Air Force, turned all my medical in, passed my ASVAB, and I decided to move back to the hometown, open a gym. I opened a gym up. It was there for 6 years. I did, I believe it was 3 or 4 years, right there, kind of right after COVID hit. I closed it down, not because of COVID, but it just made more sense for me to make more lucrative income if I closed it down, ran it as a club, and then just paid independent taxes. And then we made it private, and then I sold that after the Nationals 2021, and then moved to the beach to just further my online coaching business.
You're living the dream, man. Now you're in Myrtle Beach. That's where a lot of us from North Carolina, because that's where I'm from as well as North Carolina. Because you were born in NYC, I believe, but then you actually moved to North Carolina for a lot of your life, correct?
Yeah, I'm a road map, man.
Mr.
So
Worldwide.
I was born in Pennsylvania. We moved to upstate New York.
Okay.
Moved down to North Carolina, the foothills of the Appalachians. Went to school, NC State, transferred to Appalachian State. Moved up to Long Island, back down to North Carolina, then back to the beach, man. But, man, I'll be honest with you, all over I've been at 34 now. I mean, I've traveled all over outside of the U.S. Myrtle Beach is popping, man, and it's growing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me and my wife's family, that's one of the big vacation spots, man. That's actually, after the show in Palmetto, that's where we went. Unfortunately, it was a bit rainy that day, but it's still a beautiful place.
I would love to talk to Kevin DeHaven and see if he'd like to eventually expand the show to the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. I think that would be a hot spot for some bodybuilding, man.
Yeah, man, that'd be an awesome spot for it. I'm actually surprised that they don't have any shows in the Myrtle Beach area.
I know, because Charleston, they'll do inland North or South Carolina. But Kevin's, he's doing I just want to give a shout out, the Mid-Atlantic. This is the first year that he's adding a pro division, pro figure. Nice. And I can speak from in person and from everybody else, man. Kevin shows top of the line for the athlete. He competes himself, and he wants to just put on the best show so the athlete can have the best experience. So if you're in the area or you want to travel in and go to a dope show in Charlotte, definitely check out that Mid-Atlantic, and I believe it's in October. So, but anyway.
100%. Like that, I've only done two shows, right? So not the best sample size, but I can tell you, Kevin is awesome. Every interaction I had with him, every person that he had involved in the event for the Palmetto, it was great. Like, I'm kind of ruined now because going forward, I'm going to expect that level of professionalism and care at all the other shows I do. So living in, I want to go a little bit into your experience as a gym owner there, because for the people of the show, I own a gym as well with my father here in Rocky Mount, NC. What was that like, and what really caused you to find that? And clearly it was a passion if you did it for 6 years, you said, right? Like, what was that all about, and how did that go about?
So I'll go as in depth as you want, man. We'll start. So when I was in New York after Dave for like 2 years, I said, man, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, but I want to pursue bodybuilding. Like, I was the kid that I didn't care about the partying, didn't care about the best whip that I was driving around. I just wanted to make sure the Kai Green had my food, paid my rent, and then bodybuilding. There were no future plans. My future plans were going to become what I could do of making it for myself with however I had to do it inside of the gym and fitness world. So when I handed all my medical in, my parents came up and they said, "You ready to go to boot camp?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. I'll do what I got to do to make money to support the hobby of bodybuilding, but that's not what I wanted to do." So I'm that plan was put on pause. I moved back to North Carolina and I found this vacant warehouse that was rotted, broken windows, and so I was kind of bummed out. I'm like, damn, I don't know where I'm going to get this money to renovate it because I was 24 at the time, and unfortunately, my grandfather passed away. And my dad said, "Look, if this is what you're going to do," he goes, you need to pay, you'll have to pay me back in writing everything that I'll lend you, but I'll give you enough money to renovate the building. Luckily, at this time, this was when Craigslist was hot. This is back in about 2015, 2016, and people didn't know what they had as far
Oh
as
yeah,
exercise equipment.
they still
So you
don't.
could go on Craigslist and be like, ISO row or hammer strength press, and there might be a plate. Like I drove, for instance, here's a little story. Drove down to Hilton Head in South Carolina at the time, and the guy was like, "Man, just give me $100 to pick this piece up." He was the guy renting the building, and he was like, "Man, it's a distraction." It was an ISO incline hammer with the overhead or the
Yep.
supinated row. $100 for that piece, man. That piece is 3 grand
Wow,
now. You
that's
know,
insane.
so it started like that, and so as the gym, like the building was being renovated, I was hustling I had like 35 grand to get everything: treadmills, used equipment, weights. Another funny story is when I was at Dick's, I knew a guy at Dick's Sporting Goods, and he was like, "Man, I could get you 50% off and my employee discount." And I was like, "Would you do that? Because I know that's a big risk putting your neck out there." I don't give a fuck, man. Like, I'll help you out, do whatever you got to do. I bought all the plates in my gym for like 3 grand. You know,
What? That is
45,
crazy.
everything crazy. And so we got it bumping, opened the gym up to the public. I'm old school, man. Everything to this day on me is old school, probably stuck in my ways, need to elevate my mind. But we did everything pen and paper. Nothing was a check-in, no key tag thing, no computerized. It was just sign up. Hey, man, I'm gonna write you out. And I did everything myself, man. I had a notebook. I had the A through Z last name, alphabetical
Wow.
order. Oh shit, this dude had to pay me June 15th, make notes. And that's just how my brain was, but it was do or die.
Yeah.
I opened the doors up with either 200 or $400 in the gym account. And a business, they teach you always have the bills paid for about 3 months in advance in case. And I was like, fuck it, man. I need my gym to be complete,
Yeah.
or I need to compete with these people. So that's a little bit how that gym got started, man. And then we were known as the Misfits. And man, when I was in my 20s, I repped that shit gladly, because in your 20s, man, I was just trying to build a gym to pursue the bodybuilding, and it was loud music. We had 7,000 watt speakers in that gym. It was the typical no heat, no AC, red and black on the walls. If y'all remember watching the videos,
Yeah, man.
and it was I was 24 when I opened the gym up, man. So it was figuring yourself out through those doors, and I welcomed everybody who was kind of going through that same to come in there and release whatever type of energy they were bringing to the table, and it just came a home for all of us. And that was the main reason why I shut it down to the public, because I was like, man, we make about the same if we all just chip in. And then I was personal training, and I just picked up my coaching, doing some shows, familiarizing myself with certain body types, and that picked up. And then when COVID hit, it was easy. Nobody had a gym. Everybody was trying to hit you up for nutrition advice. Hey, man, I need to go back on a diet. And luckily, man, what you get is what you see with me. So, man, everybody knows, like, if you're gonna work with me, I'm good. I'm very passionate about bodybuilding. This is what I do every single day. I created my life around this to pursue, building tissue and metabolizing body fat. I don't like to say bodybuilding because even if you're not competing, I would still choose to live like this. But yeah, that gym was a lot, man. A lot of stories, and it was a good time. It was a good time, man.
Yeah, man, that sounds awesome. Like you're painting a great picture of that. And one area I want to highlight is because me and my dad have had our gym since I want to say 2017 or so. So
Hell yeah.
we went through COVID. So
Hell
you
yeah.
got any crazy COVID stories of what it was like?
Man, not crazy stories because that was at the time where I was really trying to go for it. You know,
Yeah.
I was locked in. I mean, I think people bodybuild, and we have to understand that everybody has different personalities.
Mm,
Some people can balance, some people can juggle, some people are OCD, ADHD. For me, if I get focused on one thing, I want to do it till it's completed. And my passion and my love was bodybuilding, and then I figured out a way how to make an income to bodybuild. So in my head, it was this is number one because
mm,
I'm one, not where I want to be as an athlete, and two, I'm not where I want to be as a man. So yes, I did date and had relationships along the way, but my brain is bodybuilding 100% to
mm,
allow myself to live a life, you know. But as far as COVID, it was the only crazy stories were fucking roll up to the gym, text my training partner at the time. It was probably Ed, Tim. Not sure if Davon trained with us back then. And these guys were dogs, man. It was no slow the reps down. And looking back, I wish we had more maturity with the approach of bodybuilding.
mm.
But I honest to God think we just had too much fucking fun, man. It was come to my house sometimes in the morning, crank out 2, 3 scoops of pre-workout. The gym was a minute down the road, so
Nice.
you're buzzing on the way to the gym. Whoever got there first turned all the lights, flipped the switch, and then there was three of us in there. We locked the door, so it was what the fuck are you gonna do to create for your life? And that was kind of the mentality of every day. And when you're training with two other guys who are putting it on the line, like one wanted to go play college ball,
Mm,
so he was like every single day is an opportunity to get elevated for his craft. We linked probably when I was like 26, 27. We trained all the way till 30 back then. So it was for me, like I said, not to sound repetitive or go off on tangents, it was all in. It sounds dramatic, it sounds yeah, but you have to think, man, when someone's 26, it's either go to the military or I really wasn't into going back to school to get a PhD in physiology or anything like that. So it was okay, work a job. I did some roofing on the side,
okay.
got some commission doing that, but I have a way to train people. People believe in my knowledge and my experience to coach them. Take advantage of this.
Mm,
I believe the training did wreck my body. I know I had 7 surgeries in a span of about a year after
mm.
that nationals. That really fucked me up.
That's crazy.
So looking back though, it's like a trade off though. Craziest story is just in the weight room.
Mm,
I mean, I'm gonna keep it blunt, man. I'm a very honest person. It was women on the side. It was fucking routine in bed at 9 o'clock, waking up at 4 every morning, and fucking trying to get big as fuck, man. And
mm.
if money came and went, it was all right. My light bill is still on because that's the guys I was around. They didn't really have the ambition to elevate outside of their life. It was just fuck it, man. If we squatting 500 pounds a day, that's enough for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and in the time of COVID, I mean, like for example, I think you kind of got rid of that issue by being that private. But like we'd have the police try to like break down our doors and shit, like that type
I
of
had a
thing.
guy, I had a cop show up, man, and I don't know, man. I was very kind of just egotistical, like, man, I don't want to fuck with nobody because the city gave me a very hard time to open that gym because of my
Mm,
age. Oh, well, you're gonna have to get an architect to do a floor plan. I'm like,
mm,
motherfucker, the gym up the road ain't got no fucking architect to remodel their fucking gym before they open it up. So
mm.
they made me jump through hoops. So I was like, man, these motherfuckers out to get me. You know what I mean? At a young age mindset. So I had a cop show one time, and he came in there and he was like, "What y'all doing?" And I said, "We just training." He goes, No gym's supposed to be open." I said, It ain't a public gym, bro." I was like, "This is a warehouse that stores gym equipment that we like to train on. The gym is not. It's not a LLC." I tormented that, and I
Okay.
just don't. And he was like, "Oh," and so then he changed his attitude up, and he goes, "Oh, well, I didn't know y'all were just a warehouse with gym equipment. Can I get a workout in?" Nah, man. I was like, respectfully, I was like, don't let the door hit you on the way out, man. I appreciate it. You know, because
Yeah.
you can't really, if you're paying for a storage unit and you're not making income off of it, like we were all chipping in to pay the rent. My income came off of training people, and that helped out because I trained people throughout COVID. You know what I mean? But nothing crazy, man. Nothing crazy. I mean, sometimes like with the private gym, you get into it with people.
Oh yeah.
They traveling, but they owe you some money for the rent, you know, and oh, I'll get you next week, and then coming in with tattoos. Just
Yeah.
but young and dumb, bro. Like looking back, I'm like, we were all just some young thugs trying to make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was it.
Definitely not quite like that. That's private. Like we're a private gym, but basically anybody can sign up. I just have the yes or no if I tell them they can sign up or not. That's about as
Yeah,
private as
hell
we
yeah,
are.
hell
So
yeah.
it's a bit of a different situation. That's kind of perfect for COVID though, man. Like I remember we would have some workouts. Keep all the lights off so no cops could see we were in there.
Heck yeah.
Benching in the dark, deadlift in the dark. It was a weird time, but looking back at it, it was kind of a good time too.
Hell yeah, man. It was my so like the way I looked at it when I was training, I said, damn, like all these people who don't have access to this gym, like I got to leapfrog them. So that turned the sessions up. You know, it was just talking nonsense, just caffeinated out of your mind, fucking popping anadrols pre-workout, just like wanting to be something so bad, wanting to increase the rate of muscle growth so you could display to, hey, I want to create a living for myself. But everybody knows bodybuilding, it just takes time, and you
Yeah.
got to fall in love with the process. you
Exactly.
know
That's been the biggest evolution for myself this past year is just falling in love with the process. Like the destination is often the distance and it looks great, but man, the journey's pretty fun too. You just got to
yeah.
learn to get in that vibe of like this is the fun part. This is the off season. Going from a rebound into an off season. This is what we're doing this for. A lot of people compete for the stage. I know that's never been you. That's never been me. The stage is just a bookmark, right? It's just a
Yeah,
display
yeah.
of the progress.
I love bodybuilding, man.
Yeah.
With I know people say cliche, oh, with or without the stage, I would compete, or with or without a fucking Instagram, I would work out and go for top sets. It's like I don't think that needs an announcement,
Yeah.
but it's like you can tell the guys in this industry that love to just train and fucking do of bodybuilding. And I again, man, I think to be bodybuilders, because it's natural for us, because we've created this way of life, 6 meals a day, do your car. It's it takes a unique person to it takes a unique person to get more pleasure out of that than the outside of, oh, I gotta go to this barbecue, and oh, I don't want to pack my meals to go watch the basketball game because I don't. And I think that is derived by a lot of insecure men, and that's okay. That's okay because we're taught in this society to do a lot of comparison. Oh shit, this person has 800 likes. Oh shit, this dude has a podcast that he only has 36 views. Yeah, but if those 36 views are payout and those people really fuck with you, who's getting more elevated?
100%.
So for me, luckily I was an outcast my whole life, and I was like, I don't like to do a lot of outing anyway because that rush, man, that rush when you're underneath 500 pounds,
Yeah.
that rush when you hit a new mark, like you said, you were 240, wanting to see 250, like that is the fun. And the people who I think have robbed themselves of experiencing that, because in bodybuilding you can pay to play. I got a coach,
Yeah.
I got the protein, hey, I got the clothes, but real bodybuilding, the holy shit, that fucking, like, women bodybuilding to me is crazy.
Yeah.
Like that woman, that amount of work, the decisions that she made, the mental focus that, and the fucking retaliation she probably get from being such an outcast.
100%.
That's the thrill of bodybuilding, man. That's the
Dude,
whole thrill of bodybuilding.
I look at like women bodybuilders, not fitness figure, whatever, respect to them, but I look at women bodybuilders, they love this shit more than anybody. They have
I
to.
believe so. I believe there has to be some type of switch to where these women are like, it's all in. So like the
Yeah.
guys, the big super mass monsters. I mean, unless you're genetically gifted. then you're probably gonna have to fucking earn the ability to experience what it seems like to walk around at 280 pounds. And there's no ego, there's no, oh, I'm better, but it's a mutual respect of like, hey, bro, I know what the fuck I had to do to get there. And it took not the drugs and the food, and that's it, that's understood bodybuilding, but the time commitment, the decisions on a daily, the decisions, I don't want to go on vacation for 2 weeks because I really need those two leg workouts to add up. And then the outside, seemingly the response is, oh, that's a little bit too much, man. That's oh, but who is that said person to make the calls on how you live your life? And I just wish more people would say, fuck it, find your fucking circle and go after and live your passions and what you love and chase your dreams, man. Like we, not to be too like philosophical, but we're all living organisms. We all have a time clock. If you're spending more time on, oh, this dude, he should do better form, and man, this man's missing out on the peptides, but you're lacking the internal awareness to be, hey, maybe I can elevate my game where I need to be focused on my water, my sleep, my stress, my relationship. Okay, my bodybuilding is taking care of itself. Now I can focus on business adventures, strengthening the relationship with my wife, enjoying my family more. But said bodybuilder, those check marks every day is what keeps me and guys like you very sane and structured and disciplined and driven,
100%. That structure, I've always craved it, and until I found bodybuilding, I felt lost. Bodybuilding has allowed me to channel that, like you were talking about, that OCD, that different type of stuff, into a positive reality for myself. Like there's nothing like it, and I know everything I have to bodybuilding. I would not be. I wouldn't have my wife right now. I wouldn't have my house. I wouldn't have the gym. I don't know where I'd be. Probably be under a damn bridge somewhere with the addictive personality I have.
Yeah, true. I mean, very, very, very true. And then you can see when you reflect back on your journey. You said your first show was 2021 or 2022.
I think 22.
22, and you weighed in at what?
Like 170.
And you competed recently at what?
At 197.
And so that, what, 20 pound,
Yep.
Excuse my math real quick, but to experience that level of a 20-pound increment of muscle tissue, you've had to step your game up of, hey, probably meal timing, water, sleep, stress,
Yep.
your training intensity, the recognition of, okay, maybe I do need to, now I'm a 220 or 190 pounds, 240 pound bodybuilder. Now the recovery tools of, hey, intensity and this workout needs to be brought down so I'm not fatigued for this workout. And it's cool to see, man, a guy like you at 25 to really, really be in tune with that. Because like I said, for me, it was, I'm going to keep it honest, take fucking drugs, eat food, and go train, And it was, oh, I have my own gym. I owned it myself. I didn't have my dad to own it with me, but it was kind of just like, fuck it, man. I got a bunch of misfits, and let's prove that we can do something with this gym,
Yeah, man, and it's like you always got to be hungry for something more. Like I hear that 20-pound gain, in that time or whatever, and I'm like, you ain't seen shit yet. Wait till next show.
Yeah, and that's what makes you a good bodybuilder, man. And
Yeah.
I think that's like we like, not to go back to the pay to play, but I look at bodybuilders as like a classroom of students. And now that you're starting to coach a little bit on yourself, a lot of guys want to get to that pinnacle. Why would you hire a coach and take all the supplements and train if you didn't? Yeah, for the love, but if you're in competitive bodybuilding, you want to see how far you can take it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, it's super cool though to have that benchmark at the stage, man. I'm really I hate to put a weight to it or a limit to it. I'd like to be somewhere around, like, I honestly I think 217 would be a funny benchmark because, 197 to 217, 20 pounds.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm so much more locked in. I think that's feasible for me. But enough about me. Going into a bit more of the competitive history, you said you did that Nationals and you placed fourth. What has competition looked like since then? And what are the plans for the future? Because I know there have maybe been some plans for competition in the future, or...
So, all right, yeah, so 2021 Nationals, I got fourth in the Supers, and then I had the surgeries, and I'm at this point in my life, man, I'm driven. I'm fucking coming back. Like, yeah. I gotta hold my weight. My diet structured around, holding tissue, and I could never be a heavyweight. I'm 5'8.5", but my genetics would not allow me to be a heavyweight bodybuilder. So I look stringy, and my muscle bellies aren't very round unless they're really pumped up. And then so I said, all right, man, fuck it. Like, I gotta recover. So it was boom, hip, shoulder, wrist, elbow, back to the shoulder. I'm like, so I'm like still in this, and I moved to the beach at this point. So through them surgeries, I sold my gym. I broke up with my fiance. My dog died. I fucking moved. I moved to the fucking beach, but in my head, I didn't care, man. I just got to get through these surgeries because I'm next. Like I'm gonna be next. Not the hype from the show, but I didn't know what the fourth place at the Nationals. I was like, I train and I bang weights and I fucking will diet my ass off, but I don't know. Nobody knows before they step on that stage because these guys are professional bodybuilders, man. The super heavyweight class, the top six at the fucking Nationals last year, like this past year,
Yeah.
phenomenal bodybuilders, man.
And I want to say too, real quick, not to cut you off, but that fourth, that fourth place that you had, that wasn't just any fourth place. In my opinion, that is one of the most stacked super heavyweight classes we've seen in amateur bodybuilding in a long time. And you were just mentioned this past year for Nationals, it was great too. But like some of the guys that you were competing against, I know there was Nate Spear, wasn't there Carlos Thomas as well there?
Yeah, Carlos won that class. He smoked us all. Nate won, and that was who I was so excited to line up against because everybody was like, "Oh, two white dudes. They both about five." Everybody said I was taller, 5'9", 5'10". I'm 5'8.5" with no shoe. But everybody related to us. But I was like, "Damn, Nate is denser." I'm starting to put this muscle on now. But Nate's had time in the game. But I wanted to beat Nate so bad. But I love Nate. I wish Nate nothing but the best. He's my boy. And then Matt Berzicott won. He got third. Right. So I'm just fucking. It's a funny story, man, because it makes me think of like, this is probably how God had life mapped out for me already. So to my recall, I mean, I don't know if this is a fucking story that somebody told me just to make me feel good, but what I was told was Carlos weighs in at about 222, and so once you get your official weigh-in, you're not supposed to reweigh. So they was like, hey man, just go drink a gallon of water. He comes back, reweighs 2020. He goes 226. So he makes that. So that would have bumped me up to third. Yeah. And Berzicott, he beat me by 1 point. I'm not saying that I should have won, but if that would have flipped, say two judges had me ahead of him, three had him beat me. If God was on my side and they flipped, that would have put me at second. I would have reached my dream. My dream was to be a pro. But anyway. That didn't happen, so I got through the surgeries, and I was like, all right, fucking, let's go for it. I was like, if I don't win an overall at my first show back, I'm done, because where I was at, but I'm not a pro, so in my head, I was like, if I'm not improving, I'm 32, 33, 30, I'm 34 now, so I was like, it has to be now or never. So I won that overall, and I was like, fuck, I guess maybe, I knew I was not what I was. But I said, maybe with another year, I could do something. But I'm not delusional at all either, So I went to show and I was like, nah, I'm good. Me and my girl were going through a rough time, and she's the one I'm engaged to now, about to be my wife. So I was very aware of, like, older now, man. Like, my dream was to go fucking bang in Texas and fucking do Tampa Pros in Detroit and trying to crack a top 5 at a pro show. Like, that was where my standards were set. It was never, dude, if I win, I could motherfucking go to the Olympia, and never that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I won the show, and I was like, man, my legs just, they not what I was doing when I was RDL 5 and squatting 5, and everyone's like, oh, you don't need the muscle. But I'm like, man, I'm a genetically 170-pound white dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, to put on 100 pounds of tissue, it's like you got to do some crazy shit to let your body adapt to respond. But anyway, I did that show, and I was like, man, I'm done. I'm fucking done. But then, man, a bodybuilder always knows when they're really done or when they fucking bullshitting. And as soon as I got out of the show, I fucking went back up to 285, and I was like, man, this is the easiest I'm waking up at 285. Like, this is crazy. I didn't want to be chasing the 300 pounds anymore, but I was like, man, I'm 285, and my numbers hit. I'm like 5'8.5". Like, I'm gonna look bubbly compared to these dudes. Like, even if there's some big motherfuckers, like I know I'm gonna be peeled. Went and did the USA's, and I got smoked. and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I got seventh out of 10, and to keep it short, I got beat when they glanced over my number. I wasn't sour. I wasn't boo-hoo, but I said, "It's time, man." And at that time, when it glazed over me and they was walking to the middle, and you stand there and look, because I've never experienced that in my life. I was more grounded, and I said, "Look out into the audience." I've never looked out into the audience not one time when I competed. It was laser, get the fucking win and go home and go train and live your life. So when I was standing on that stage, I was looking out in the stands. I said, "Damn, so this is what it looks like to see the stands from the stage." I felt the stage under my feet. And I said, "Damn, I'm probably not gonna feel this feeling again." I looked at the dudes and I'm smelling and I'm like, I love that smell. That smell, like that tan.
Yep.
You at a bodybuilder show. In my head, when I went to compete at a bodybuilder show, I was going to win. Never had the delusion of I'm gonna win every show, because I got smoked as a teenager, got smoked as a collegiate. I got beat, 26. I got second in a heavyweight. I didn't win my first overall until I was 28. So I was getting my ass beat, ass beat, ass beat. But I was grounded enough to be like, man, I fucking love this sport. And then I just sat there and watched the show. I sat there and watched Pete Beatty, fucking Chris Knox pose it, and I'm like, and I'm in it, bro. Like my when that bodybuilding switch comes out, it's like when I'm training. I love that rush, man. These dudes are, I know what they've done. I know what it means to them. I know mentally where they're at of if they don't place where they think they should at that level, it plays an effect on your fucking next move in your life. So when I was saying there, man, they said, "All right, guys, we went up there, we fucking hit one shot, the second call outs, get the fuck off the stage." And so I was walking off the stage, and as I was walking down, I said, "Damn, this is my last time, bro. So I know I'm done. Do I want to fucking compete? Ain't nothing in this world I would want to do more than to compete. But I'm not going to be a master's local level guy my whole life." And the reason I say that is all because you could go get a pro card in the masters. I make no lightheartedness of the masters. Those guys are very good bodybuilders. And with my limitations of, it sounds like a bitch, but like the arthritis and all the scar tissue, I can't pose correctly,
Okay.
and I can't do set exercises correctly. So yeah, my bodybuilding days as a competitor, I have to say with no regret that I am done. But man, that same rush when I have an athlete on that stage, man, it's hard for me not to fucking yell from the stands. And
Yeah.
that's, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but man,
I'm gonna go off.
I would love for a bodybuilding to be more of a applaud as opposed to, "Hey, dude, this dude's legs would be good if he put 10 pounds of muscle on." I
100%.
want, there's times for that fucking critique, man. You don't think 99% of bodybuilders who are really like in tune with wanting to be their best know what the fuck they got to work on? So rather than being like, "Oh man, he would be good if he was 5 pounds lighter," okay, yeah, he missed his condition. But if we, at the day of the show, we're like, let's fucking go, like, rep your fucking team. Like, I know families are coming to see this for the first time and they don't want to sit there, "Oh, what's going on? Why is it so quiet?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So when I see my guys compete, man, that shit, that rush to want to see them experience that feeling on stage, because like I said, I got my ass kicked. I know what it feels like to get your ass beat. I also know what it feels like to get your ass beat when you've been bullshitting on your diet and when you've been 100 fucking% on your diet. And I also know what it feels like to bring your best look to date and hit, like at that 2021 Spartanburg show. And then I also know what it feels like to, "Oh man, I'm questioning, man, maybe I over dieted myself." You know what I mean? So that's all bodybuilding, bro. How many of the guys at the top are they hit it perfect every fucking time? They don't, you
Zero.
know?
100%.
None.
I absolutely agree with the whole spectator side of bodybuilding. I just went to my first show as a spectator not too long ago. I want to say, do you know when the Elite Muscle Classic is? This is November, right?
November, yeah, late
Yeah.
November leave.
guy I've had on the show, Madison, I went there to see him, and also Jordan Hutchinson was guest post. So I was like, shit,
Jordan's crazy, man.
I've never seen an open bodybuilder in person. I need to go see that. So twofold
Yeah.
reason to go there. And Madison was the only super heavyweight in the show, and he was above and beyond the best. And the judges agreed because he won the overall. On the stands, I was yelling. I was like, hit your glutes to the back shot, man. What are you doing? Squeeze, come on, like just super
I
hyped,
love it.
man. And that's how you got to be. And there was a dude beside me who actually follows me on Instagram. I hope he sees this. Henny Undeniable. That dude, his energy was crazy. He's exactly what you're talking about. Yelling, supporting everybody. He's like, this guy's amazing. Like just letting it know.
I mean,
I love
bro,
that.
we know the cardio, the dieting, the decisions to push the pace a little bit. We all know, and then we all up there. I mean, I don't know about you, man, but putting fucking posing trunks up there, it's not the most casual fucking competition suit to wear. You
Yeah.
know, you up there and you fucking showing what you got, uncomfortable, vulnerability. Like, let's pump these motherfuckers up, man. You know what I
100%.
mean? That's all
Absolutely.
good.
So that's why I earlier didn't 100% know if you decided that was your last competition or not, because man, I still see you getting after it. So you're definitely not done as a bodybuilder. You're just done with stepping on stage. For now.
Yeah, I mean, I would die a bodybuilder, you know, and
I agree.
I don't want that. I don't want that to go over people's head and be like, oh, hardcore. I love the way I feel. You know I can't be 275, 280 pounds the rest of my life, but the cardio, I used to hate it. When I had both my hip surgeries, I said I would never bitch about it again.
Oh
So
man,
now that I can walk, I'm like every morning is a blessing to walk. You
that's
know,
awesome.
like once you have shit taken away from you, like I can't train like I used to, but I'll if I feel good and I'm taking a set. You know, I trained. I fucking welcome all my clients to come to Myrtle Beach and link up for a week of training with me. Like I fucking eat my meals. I mean, if you look at
Yep.
my house, bro, like just a sec, you be like, this motherfucker still is bodybuilding. You
That's
know,
awesome.
like it's
Got the rice
just
cooker and everything.
so for me, man, it's always gonna be just who I am because, man, if I don't eat my meal, and this might sound like a fucking personal inner problem that I got to work on, if I don't have hit my meals or do my cardio, I feel very off mentally. You know, I don't
Yes.
know if that's an insecurity. I don't know if that's a guilt of, hey, I'm coaching people and I'm taking their money to tell them what to do, but I'm not doing it. Like I don't know, but man, if I'm doing my cardio, drinking, and I'm fucking not staying up till midnight, like I'm in a good place, man, and it's worked for me outside of the gym as well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's because you love it. If you didn't love it, you wouldn't feel that sense of something missing when it doesn't happen, right? So
I
it's
was
just yeah.
so not to cut you off, man. I
You're
was
fine.
so scared of that. So when I was like, I'm done competing, boy, that was the hardest, bro. To wake up and it's different to wake up and preach that oh, I want to be my best. When the physicality of your body would never be displayed at what you think mentally you could have, and you have to be like, hey, if you keep doing this, you're gonna hurt you. Not
Yeah.
internal your PEDs, but like you're gonna hurt yourself if you're trying to train this way because it's like Jay Cutler said. He goes, "Why did you stop retiring? Or why did you retire? Why did you stop bodybuilding?" He said, "I could not do the back exercises I needed to bring the back that I wanted to display on stage." And they go, "What did you mean by that?" He goes, "I couldn't do the loads." He goes, "For back training, man, like you have to train like a competitive fucking athlete as a back. That angle shit is great for chest development, what you can recruit and biceps volume versus whatever. But back, man, every motherfucker I knew who could rip deads off the ground, T-bar row off the ground, dumbbell has a nasty fucking back, man. You know?
Absolutely.
And I was known for my back in my amateur days. Oh, Chris, he's got a really dense back. His training's fucking stupid, but damn, he's got a big back. And in my honest opinion, man, I can no longer display that. So I'm like, I wake up every fucking day and I'm like, I just got to try to be my best. You know, I got to go to the gym and try go into the gym being like, I got an opportunity to fucking mold my body and is a whole different energy, man, that I do miss. I really fucking miss that, man, you know?
Yeah, there's still that
To be
passion there
honest.
though. It's in a bit of a different direction, right?
Yeah.
And you can
I
still
like,
see it.
go ahead. Go ahead.
You can still see it. Like I mean, you're not training like a bitch by any means, man. Today you were doing damn 5 plates on the hammer press or whatever it was. Like you're still getting after
I
it.
know, but it's different, man.
It
You
is.
know, it's different where you lock it in and you rock back with some dumbbells or barbell in your
Yeah.
hand, as opposed to locking your scapulas up and you're fucking getting in the groove on a machine. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, I've really been enjoying my training, but I don't know, man. Them squats and shit, they keep you young, bro. Like there's a guy in the gym. He's like fucking 68 years old. He puts fucking 225 on his back, barbell squat, and I'm like, damn,
It's awesome.
like that's he ain't missing nothing in life if he got a barbell on his back. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. So if we got a couple questions we can get into here that people sent
I'm in
in.
it.
All right. So, as someone who's been in the game for a long time, how did you find out what worked for you in terms of training, diet, drugs, everything? Basically, how did you figure out what clicked for you?
Man, I'm the wrong person to ask. I'm gonna keep it honest, man. I trained the same from 16 to fucking 30. My trading did not change. The only thing that changed was like, oh, my elbow tendonitis flare up. I can't do 2 chest days. I would drop back to 1 chest day, So my training, if I could go back, man, I would clean it up a lot. I would not use as much momentum. I would not try to chase numbers. All right. There's a period. I talked to Tim John about this, man. When you're just starting out, you don't really have stability. You don't have a lot of recruitment. You don't have the density of tissue because it's not been built. And that everybody, man, has different biomechanics. So if you're taking an ex-athlete and putting him in the gym as opposed to your school librarian that wants to put on muscle, their body mechanics and awareness is probably going to be different.
Yeah.
So I believe that person, man, you just gotta go train, eat, and you're gonna grow naturally.
100%.
Then there's that time frame where, if you have to decide what you want to do. Do you want to build tissue? Do you want to just tone that people use? Do you
Yeah.
want to be an athlete, like not a bodybuilder, but just an athletic guy?
Yeah.
But if we're talking specifically bodybuilding, I believe there's a period, and everybody goes through that Dorian Yates, that progressive overload, and to build tissue. Now, I believe myself is addicted to that feeling of that progressive overload. You're wrecking your body. A mature mind and aware bodybuilder would know, okay, it doesn't fucking matter if you're benching 405, 455, or 500 pounds. Probably doesn't matter if you're benching 365. So, like, a mature bodybuilder now says, am I a gym rat? Do I love training, or do I want to fucking bodybuild? At about 26 years old, after the 20 to 26 is just heavy squats, heavy barbell. I wish I would have been more mature at 280 pounds and been like, yo, over the course of the next 10, you're probably going to develop that 8 to 10 pounds of just mature tissue over time. You already busted your ass to put the muscle on, so you need to switch your gears. Then I believe there's a time frame where, like we talked about briefly in the beginning of, hey, do I need to pull a little back bit for my leg day so my back day can go and whatever, and then you worry about how much volume you can take. But I think guys now the guys without the muscle are so worried about that, as opposed to how can I train hard to create that. As far as drugs, man, um I was natural up to 22. At 22 I said fuck it, I'm in. Like, I was right out the rip. I did a Gramba test, I think 600 EQ, and some Arimidex. But it was my first time. I was
Yeah.
22 years old, and I was like, the reactions, bad acne, fucking puffy, diet wasn't as clean. So when I learned more about bodybuilding, of damn, these motherfuckers really aren't missing. Like, this really not ridiculous to be bringing your meals and cutting shit outside your life. Then as I opened my gym up, so I went straight to a gram, but then I was like, damn, I don't feel good. Blood pressure's up, body's like trying to react to this shit. I've never had this in my body. So I was like, I'm gonna pull this back. I pulled it back to like 500 to finish it out, and kept the EQ probably at 3. I probably cut it in half. I can't even remember. But once I open that gym up, I'm gonna just keep it fucking real, man. It was a lot of steroids. It was a lot of fucking girls, and it was a lot of fun. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it honest. Am I proud of it? All of it? No. Did I have a fucking good time? Absolutely. As far as drugs, every person genetically is different. even if you're mesomorphic, ectomorph, endomorph, oh, this person faster. Every single person is different. So I really do believe there's a little bit of self-awareness and self-education that needs to be taught through the knowledge of these drugs, and then just trial and error, man. So it bodybuilding, I would say this, man, after my last comment, more is not better.
100%.
Taking as much as you can. Everybody has a threshold. So if I can take 750 milligrams of test, and say you can take 1,000 milligrams of test, and your body has no repercussion, no side effect, boom. But if I go to 1,000, now my blood pressure is up, my kidneys are affected, I got inflammation, free radical. That 1,000 is doing less.
100%.
But oh, I want to take more because I want to be bigger. My genetics would not allow that. If I was more aware of myself back then, I would have kept the doses, but I definitely would have experimented to find out what that threshold is. Because in my head, I want a full tank of gas, man. Like
Yep.
if I'm going to fucking compete, I don't want to have like, damn, I could have used this or I could have used that. I was never a guy that would brag about, yo, I only took fucking 500
Yep.
milligrams of test and one pill of Winstrol. I was like, and that's why I beat you. You know what I mean? So my head was, I will take as much as I need to take, do whatever I need to do, and then fucking train my ass off. But my coaching, it's never that, man, because now you're morally taking the responsibility of somebody trusting your knowledge to take exogenous hormones. So with my coaching, man, I would do what's necessary, but never out the gate. Never out the gate. I want to let the person experience it. Okay, this is your second off season with me. Your whatever. Under said circumstances, this is what we would go. Everything for me is methodical and backed by bloods. It's what you have to do, man. I mean, if I'm gonna be paid and put somebody else's health into jeopardization, I'm gonna take every precaution I can because my life is my life. Morally speaking, I don't care like what anybody does on a free time. But if I'm the one instructing somebody what to take and what to consume to build a body when there is potential negative side effects, I'm taking that very, very fucking serious, man. You know what I mean?
100%. And I think that, so basically the question is, how do you figure it out? And you touched on this a couple times, trial and error. You got to figure it
trial
out.
and error.
You got to figure it out for yourself. No one can really tell you that. Like, let's say someone goes to a coach and it's their first, they've never done any anabolics or whatever. They've never really, they're getting into everything first time, training, diet, whatever. Even that coach to a degree is going to have to do some trial and error with them. But I can tell you, they're not going to, a good coach at least, they're not going to start them off at higher doses. They're not going to start them off with a ton of volume. They're not going to start them off on 8,000 calories a day. We're going to start low and moderate on everything and then titrate up as the body responds. And like you said, as blood work responds. It is so easy to get blood work nowadays. I mean, you can get a full panel for like $100 and get some blood markers you probably don't even need on it. Like, there's no reason not to nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, so as far as said drugs of like, how do you know which drug? So you just got to kind of do, like I said, do your research, understand. So like, we could take testosterone level. And so in my opinion, man, if I was to start out with something, it'd be like Anavar, maybe a little bit of clenbuterol for a woman. But like,
Yeah.
if you were like, hey, I made the decision, this is what I want to do, I would just start somebody with an elevated TRT dose, a little bit more than TRT, because a lot of guys would go, I'm gonna go on TRT now, and well, you're just replacing.
Yeah.
So virtually, you just swapped out the amount of testosterone that that your body produced for what it can metabolize. So if you're gonna use a PED to get a benefit or the benefit we all want, you need to go up. So if you're looking at testosterone, and say you bump up to 500 milligrams, and you're like, okay, I'm getting a little aromatized. My nipples are sensitive. Okay, maybe estrogen levels going up. You'll know to counteract that with an AI. Or so now I'm doing that. Okay, cool. I want to go up a little bit, the 750. I've got the estrogen, but now you might experience your blood pressure elevated. If that's not taken care of, that's going to directly correlate to damaged kidney. You might, let's see, you might see hemoglobin, RBC, hematocrit go up. So then you start to think, oh, you might even see a little bit of cholesterol elevation,
Yep.
depending on how your body metabolizes it. You might see fucking nothing. You might take 750 and feel like a god, and your body can flush it out, use what it needs, and metabolize it. But so say that 750 affects you in a negative way, you would know now, hey, that's too much. My body is starting to give me feedback in a negative response. I need to lower that. The body that is less effective, like kidney overdrive, blood pressure, is if the body's fresh and healthy and using these drugs, it's going to metabolize it and you're going to get a better effect.
100%.
So then you need to look at something. Oh, I want to pair something with my testosterone. So say that 750 was too high. You bring it down to 500, side effects mitigated. Then you got to look at, okay, I want to add another drug. Let's take equipoise. Equipoise known raise the RBCs for your oxygen nutrients, go to the muscle. But then every anabolic is derived by a testosterone base. So if you're, hey, I'm gonna add 300 milligrams, and then boom, that shit gets elevated, it could come down to a total milligram. It could be, oh well, this 800 milligrams with the 500 test, 300 equipoise is too much for my body. Oh, maybe equipoise, I'm responding negatively. Let's go to a primobolan or a masteron, something that's known to be less toxic.
Yeah.
You know, so it's as you say, man. Not to ramble. It's trial and error and being fucking sensible.
Yes.
Because once you start to pump a lot of shit, body's not going to respond the same. And I mean, unless you have the built tissue, these guys who have been in the game for 15 years saying, you don't need a lot of drugs anymore, 260 pounds stripped, bro.
Yeah.
So 500 milligrams to that density of tissue is going to respond better to somebody who's 220 pounds, doesn't have the tissue, but trying to grow. So then you would say, well, damn, bro, like I need to put on tissue, but I'm having these side. Well, one, maybe your genetics they are what it are, and that's where you got to have a deep conversation with yourself. Do I want to pursue bodybuilding and take the amount of PEDs that is necessary to allow my body to be competitive? Or do you want to dabble and I'll do the best I can with competition, but I don't want to have the health risks? That's for you as a competitor to decide, man. So
Absolutely.
a lot of and I don't want to even go off on another tangent of like, I've seen a lot of competitors nowadays blaming their coach
Yeah.
for the health concerns. If something feels funny and you have a gut feeling of like, I don't want to do this, don't fucking do it, man.
And
Because it's
don't.
it's ultimately at the end of the day, it's your decision of what you are willing to do when you weigh out the pros and the cons to reach your goal.
100%. They're an adult. They can make their own decisions. Like, if your coach is telling you to take DNP, that's your responsibility to say, I don't want to do that shit.
Yeah, I would on the DMP. I've
Yeah,
never taken it,
I
never
agree.
seen it, never would instruct it, but it's used. It's
Yeah.
used every day today. It's used, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
So
it's all about what your risk tolerance is. You know, for
like,
some people don't want to even bother losing their hair. Clearly, for us, that ain't a damn issue, right? Like,
that's facts. That's facts. Yeah, it's all. What are you willing to do, man? You
yeah,
know, well, I was probably like 10 years old, and I read in the book like the Olympics, and it was like majority of Olympic athletes to wear a gold medal at the end of the night would shave 10 to 15 years off their life, and they would do it without hesitation.
they probably do
And
more.
that's not for me, you, or anybody else to judge, man. You know,
Absolutely.
that's what that person feels like they want to do to reach an internal goal. And beyond like bodybuilding to compete to win, some people, man, they just fucking want to try to see how crazy big they can get, man.
Yeah.
It's an addictive trait that we all have, and fuck it, man. I say crack on, man, you know?
100%. There's no wrong or right way to do this shit as long as you can go to bed at night.
Back. That's all it is, man. That's
All right.
all it is.
I think we covered that one. All right. So, and this kind of goes into what we were talking about. So I guess this would be good to jump into. How do you decide when it's time to titrate up either training volume, food, PEDs, anything? Basically, when do you decide it's time to push the gas up on somebody? It doesn't have to necessarily be all of those things or one, but what is something you look for when it's time to pump the gas?
If there's no response. I mean, I don't let that go over people's head, man. You know, there's so many. Okay, so the number one thing that you don't want to do is when oh shit, nothing's happening, is start changing a bunch of fucking variables.
Yes.
It's, oh, I'll up my drugs, I'll up my food, I'll fucking do. That's, you want to pick one or the other, man. So for me, if it's said symptoms, man. So if someone comes to me and like, dude, I'm stuck at 250 right now, but I can't, bro, I can't eat nothing. I might fucking increase their cardio, and that's all I do to get more of a metabolic response to see how they digest more food. I might say, fuck it, dude, you've only been on for fucking 6 weeks and we've been just kind of riding. Let's bump the fucking drugs up a little bit based on their feedback. Um, I would how you decide that, man. I think that's easier when you're in tune with a client.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like if I, it's that's a very broad question to ask. Just, hey, dude, I can't gain no more weight. What should I do?
Yeah.
You know, if the diet's been locked in, you've been on drugs for a little bit. I mean, you're take your best, take your best decision forward of like, hey, if you're, breathing hard and your blood pressure is 140 over fucking 90, the best decision is probably not to just crank more drugs up. And
100%.
then on the flip side, if the dude's eating 800 grams of carbs and food's like up to his throat, blood pressure's up, probably, in my opinion, I wouldn't change more food. I would probably, like I said, I'd increase that metabolic rate to try to metabolize more food, so I get the metabolism increase, so we can burn more calories. That way, boom, there's no drug change, there's no food change. Hey, it's maybe not what he wants right now, where the body maybe would drop 3 or 4 pounds, but then, oh shit, he kind of rode through that, did more cardio, got the body responding. Now you play. And more cardio is going to bring that blood pressure down a little bit, food digests a little bit better. Shit, what you want to do? My first thing though, I always try to see how much food the client can digest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not necessarily, oh man, I'm so bloated or I can't. I want to see how much food this person can digest. If you can only eat a little bit of food, but you're willing to blast a bunch of gear, that gear has nothing to use to rebuild the body.
100%.
So I really do believe, man, in bodybuilding, the top guys know exactly how much food that they can metabolize to get the benefit. And in the off season, it's a lot more than what you would think to get the body to move. And in my honest opinion, for the average body, the 99% of us, it's a lot less food to get the body to respond to metabolize body fat, man. That's just my
Absolutely.
honest opinion.
I agree with everything you said there. Like, for example, we the week before last, my weight had actually dropped, or it had stayed. It had gone up and then stayed. And then this past week, it was a big drop. I dropped like 8 pounds over the course of the week just because my metabolism kept burning. And then we're like, all right, clearly we need more food, so we're going to push the food there. If my weight had gone up 8 pounds and then the next week had gone up 8 pounds again, we're not going to bump the food up there. We're going to probably pull back on the food there. You just have to be kind of intuitive with it all. You can't just throw something at the wall and hope it sticks, right? You got to analyze things properly. That's why it's super important to have a coach, because a lot of us can get on our own heads when we're doing this stuff by ourselves.
And be patient, man.
Yes.
Like a lot of people, they might go a week and they're like, shit, my weight didn't change.
Yeah.
And then they go another week and it's the weight's up, a half a pound. And then the next week I'm like, but what are the variables? Like, for instance, when somebody comes to me, like if I've been working with somebody for a long time, we do a prep, we rebound, we detox, we're doing drug. Usually that off-season diet like would be just the same as it is at the end of that rebound, and then I'll add the drugs. Usually what happens is the body will lose a little bit because these exogenous drugs,
Yep.
but then once they kind of settle in, with the same diet, you'll kind of dip a little bit, then you'll start to increase. One, the body uses the food a little bit more efficiently, protein synthesis, glycogen, whatever, ATP regeneration. And then, that drug sit in, coach, man, I'm starving. Okay, well, this dude, he is only gaining about a pound. Let's up the food a little bit. The body is obviously responding to the drugs. Chemistry is going on in the body. Hey, sounds like a perfect time to play with the nutrition side of things in this equation.
And
Yeah.
so then the last part of that would be training volume. What tells you when someone needs more or less training volume? I would obviously assume they need less if they're feeling like beat up, right? But how do you know when someone needs to push more on that?
Dude, man, that's a tough question to narrow down to specifics. You know what I mean? So, like, if you're sore, like, I mean, I think soreness is irrelevant, but I think the stimulation and performance side of bodybuilding, like when you train in bodybuilding, so like I want to talk to the broad spectrum, not the fucking guys who are already competing with their bodies that they've already built. The people who are trying to put on tissue, um, the the amount of volume that you can not have limitations in your performance. So say you're in a 6 week block of training and you're progressive overloading and you're boom, you're going up on your hack squats and oh, you're up a plate, okay, up a quarter, my reps went up, whatever, and then you start to die down, die down. Right there tells me, hey man, the body has been taking these. So think about it, over 6 weeks, the loads that you're putting on your body are obviously going to be greater than at week one because said nutrition, drugs, and whatever. There's only so much time you can ride that wave at the top. So when you're 2, 3 weeks in, and then hey, I'm gonna go now for this hack squat. I hit a PR the last 4 weeks, and then you kind of match. And you're like, fuck, man, my water, my daily routine, everything in bodybuilding was set up, and I had the same mentality in the gym. Man, my body's going pull back, because then you're trying to push this body that's overworked to demand performance when honestly, man, ego away is too much. You just got to know whenever, like me, man, I never fucking pulled back. It was take more caffeine. It was, oh, you got to try to do more. And I really do believe, man, like your body will let you know. Your body will let you know.
Absolutely. All right, last question here. I don't want to take too much more of your time. We're at close to about an hour here, I think. How do you make a long off season? This person says specifically 1 year or longer. How do you make a long off season as effective as possible?
Cut it down into phases. That's what I would do. I would. So off season for a year, man. It's all case dependent. I know every coach says that. Oh man, it's everybody different. But so say I got an ectomorphic guy, and I need a year, man, and he's fucking eating cheat meals and he's still fucking lean. He's the thousand gram of carb. The body's not going to be able to digest that much food, for the whole year.
Yeah.
So I would like to work into phases of, hey, let's do a 18 to 20 week cycle. We'll come off for 6 to 8 weeks. We'll see where we're at. We'll get blood work done. Then we'll run right into it. A guy who's ectomorphic and wants to put on size, shit, man, I might do an 8 to 12 week cycle of putting size on, end that cycle out, kind of just maintaining or cutting back down, do a detox. And dude, if somebody need it, they might need a 12 to 16 week diet in between those off seasons, just to stimulate, just to resensitize, just to lose more body fat and then ramp back up. So depending on his body type, whoever asked that question, work in phases based on what your body needs. But don't fucking ruin yourself so early, man, where you're, I'm going to go right to 7,000 grams of calories and your body's not even adapted to metabolizing that much food,
100%. I think that's a big part of it, is giving yourself this long runway. When you know you have that long of a time, you can't blow your load right out of the beginning, man. You just can't do it. Like right now, for example, I'm at pretty much exactly 7,000 calories, like 500 something protein, 1,000 carbs, and whatever else in fats. We didn't start that way. We started off at like 3,500 and then slowly built up to, from May to now in January. It was a long process. And it wasn't linear either. We built up and we pulled back a little bit. Composition slipped a little bit. So we took 6-8 weeks, clean things up, and then push again. So it just depends on the person, like you're saying. It is super individual. Like some people, they're super ectomorphic. They can just blast straight the whole way through, not necessarily in drug terms, but food. They can just keep their food high the whole time and keep gaining slowly. It's about knowing who you are, how much time you've allotted yourself, and how your body responds.
That's really what it comes down to, man, and just making use of your time.
Yes.
And like it goes way back to what we said at the very beginning of the podcast. Enjoy bodybuilding. Enjoy all phases of bodybuilding. If your cards are what you got to play with, man. If you're endomorph and you were fat as fuck in your previous life and now you want to be a bodybuilder, chances are, right out the gate, you're probably not going to be in a diet on 1,000 grams of carbs.
Yep.
If you're ectomorphic and you're fucking 135 pounds, you're like, man, I want to put on size. You're going to have to eat a fuckload, and it's going to be very uncomfortable. Man, you got to stretch your stomach out, fucking be slamming shakes when you're waking up at 2 a.m. in the morning. Like, it's going to be, but enjoy that, because that is you playing your cards at the best of your ability to make whatever you want to happen for your body.
Absolutely. Love the process, and it's going to be different for all of us. So you just got to figure out what it is for you.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, man. Well, we're at a little over an hour here. I don't want to take any much of your time. Really appreciate you coming on the show and giving us some of your time today. Is there anything that you want to say before we end it? Anything you want to plug?
Shout out to Gas, man. Been with Gas for like 4 years now. Great people. Hey, I want to even if you're looking to be an athlete and are aspiring to, be on Team Gas, join up for the ambassador, man.
Yep.
The ambassador program is all of the perks except for the benefits of being an athlete. So
Yep.
if you want to be included in the meetups, the activities, Gas always has something going on, man. So and if you really want to elevate your experience with Gas, go to the meetup. What is it? The homecoming meetup.
Mm-hmm.
If you sign up as an ambassador and you get your ass to Texas, you would be treated like one of their own, man. So it's really, really, really a big family-oriented community for people that are very serious about bodybuilding, man. So that's about it, man. And I really appreciate you having me on, man. I could talk bodybuilding all day long, bro. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it was awesome because, like I said, we had met in person twice here, but it was nice to sit down and get to know you a bit better.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on, man.
All right. Well, everybody, this has been another episode of the Iron Obsession Podcast. If you made it to the last 5 minutes, drop us a 5-minute crew. We just passed 150 subs on the channel today, so thank you guys for that. I'm not putting a limit on what I think is possible for the channel, but I've got certain goals for myself that I hope we reach by the end of the year. Thank you guys for watching.